All right, so we've got some examples here on this top left. We're going to be finding the area of the shaded sector, and we want to leave our answer in terms of pi. So if I'm solving for that, the area of what I'm looking for is going to be pi r, which is 9 squared, times 70 over 360. That arc measure or central angle, either way, it's going to be the same thing. Okay. 9 squared is going to be 81, so this is going to be 81 pi times 70 divided by 360 equals 0.194 repeating. Math frac that. So basically all we were able to do is drop off that 0. So we've got 7 over 36. And all I'm going to do is multiply it by 81. We want to leave our answer in terms of pi, so we are going to leave this pi alone. So we're basically just going to take this, multiply it by 81, excuse me. So we had 7 divided by 36 times 81, math frac. That's going to be 63 over 4, which means there's a common factor. 81 and 36 can both be divided by 9, but we can let our calculator do that work and end up with 63 pi over 4 centimeters, and that would be centimeters squared, would be my answer for that area. Okay. Now, if I wanted to show this as a decimal, I could. Okay. That would be 15.75 pi cm squared, or I could multiply that by pi if I was not leaving my answer in terms of pi. Okay. And I would do that by multiplying by that pi button, which would give me 49.480 cm squared. So it can be helpful to see it all those different ways. The way it asked us was to leave our answer in terms of pi, which is what we did right here. But we could do it a couple different ways, just depending upon what you're being asked for and what is the preferred method. Down here on the bottom, find the area of the shaded sector. Okay, so again, our area equals pi r, which is 8 squared times 135 over 360. We've got 8 squared, which is going to be 64. So 64 pi times 135 divided by 360. Math frac. We've got 3 over 8. Not 8 over 8, excuse me, 3 over 8. And I actually can see 64 divided by 8 is going to be 8. So I could do some canceling out here. That's going to leave 8 on top. So we are going to actually have 3 times 8, which is 24 pi meters squared as our area. And if we were to evaluate by multiplying by pi, I could do that. 24 times the pi button would be 75.398 meters squared. We do not want to multiply by 3.14 because that's going to give us a different answer. Okay, so be careful. We want to use pi button unless they specifically tell us to multiply by 3.14. We're just going to deal with the pi button. Okay. But a good way to check your work, if you feel like you're close but not quite right, go on ahead and do the opposite and see if you get the right answer that way. If the radius of the circle is 15 feet, so let's label that. We've got a radius as 15 feet. Okay. What is the area of sector EOF? So we are looking for the area contained right here by radius EO, radius FO, and arc EF. So I'm going to do it the same way I've done it. Area equals pi r, which is 15 squared, times 30 over 360. And I know right away that I can cancel those zeros out. 15 squared is going to be 225. 225 pi times 3 divided by 36. Math frac 112. So we end up with 225 pi over 12, 225 divided by 12. Does that simplify at all? Let's see. It does. So we end up with the area being 75 pi over 4, and that is going to be feet squared. And if I need to evaluate this, we're going to multiply that. We've got 18.75 pi feet squared, or if we multiply it by pi, we end up with 58.905 feet squared. So that gives us a good answer right there. And then down here at the bottom, we've got one more example. Okay, in circle C, with the measure of angle BCD being 66 degrees, so let's go on ahead and put that in there, 66 degrees, and BC being 15 units, find the area of the sector. So area equals pi r, which is 15 squared, times 66 over 360. So very similar. Okay, it's going to be a little bit different here though. We already worked 15 squared to be 225 times pi. Then we have 66 divided by 360. Math frac. So it's going to be 11 over 60. So then we multiply that by 225 to give us 41.25. Math frac. That's going to be 165 pi over 4, and that would be units squared. That would equal our area. And if I wanted to work this further, I could multiply that by second pi. So I would have either 41.25 pi units squared or 129.591 units squared. Either of those would also be acceptable.